So Angela is asleep right now, which is great because it gives me some time to explore, mess around with some ribs I bought. Want to try the root beer ribs, 2 types. The slow cooker recipe, and then I'm also gonna do the quick cooker one. So here goes. So this is gonna be our area, just to show you on our kitchen counter. It'll be this will be our area towards the end here where we'll be making our stuff. It's race. I guess this is called, and I should know more about it, but I'm kind of doing this because I'm new to it, like a lot of you are. So this machine here is called the RockCrock Dutch oven. So this is the RockCrock Dutch oven. It's got, just looks like that. And so we're gonna be doing ribs in there, and also this is the quick cooker. And you've seen this before. Angela has used it before. Anna and I have been involved in it, but I'm gonna try to use it by myself. So see. Okay, so the first step in this is to remove the membrane from the rack of ribs, and it talks about the membrane on the rack of ribs is tough and holds in excess fat. To remove the membrane, lay the rack of meat side down. Use the tip of the small knife to gently pull the membrane away from one corner. And then, so we're gonna do that. I have my ribs here, lay it on my nice Pampered Chef chopping mat. You can use a variety of knives from Pampered Chef to do this. I should probably be using the paring knife, but I don't know where our paring knife is, so I'll use what I believe is my old Pampered Chef tomato knife to get the job done. And perhaps I'll go off script and use this Copper Chef, what I think is a paring knife if I need to. But I'm going to stick with the brand names here just to make my wife happy. Hopefully it works out. I'll check back in after I've got the membrane. Okay, that membrane came right off. We're ready to go. The next step says season both sides. This is step number 2. Season both sides of the ribs with the rub. Then cut between the bones to separate into 4 portions to fit into the inner pot. Okay, so that makes sense. This calls for a smoky barbecue rub, and I'm not too sure where that is, or maybe perhaps that's a Pampered Chef thing. I should check. So my wife didn't want to wake up, so I had to do the math on my own. According to the Pampered Chef Fresh Start catalog, there is in fact a smoky barbecue rub. It's got paprika, garlic, onion, and spices. So we haven't ordered that yet, or at least I can't find it. And so I've got 2 sets of ribs. I'm going to use one with a rub that I have from one of my friends, Joshua Brock. It's from JB's Gourmet Spice Blends. And he is one of my combat brothers in the Marines who does spices. So we're going to be using a blend of his called Red Dirt Road. That is a combination of the same things. This one has also, I've added some brown sugar to it, and it's one that I use quite a bit with my cooking for rubs, and it's fantastic. I love it. So that's what we're going to be rubbing this bad boy with, and I'll get back to you because I can't film, and or maybe I can. Maybe I'll get my tripod out here. Okay, this is much better. So the recipe calls for season both sides of the ribs, then cut between the bones to separate into 4 portions to fit into the inner pot. So what I'm going to do to save time is I'm going to cut it and then I'm going to rub it. So 4 portions. I'm going to go down half. Then there's 2. And then I'm going to have these, that's so that they'll fit into so they'll fit in the crock. This is called root beer ribs. So we're going to have these, and then we're going to start to rub them down. So hopefully you can see that. So I'm having them. I think this is the right way. My wife's asleep, so hopefully I can pull this off before she wakes up and tells me that I'm doing it wrong. Put them in the thing here, and then I'm going to rub them down. Get my red dirt road going. It's just a rub. Again, Pampered Chef uses a rub, which you can get to rub it. So, you know, I guess the way I've been taught as a kid is to just, you know, make sure you have the stuff covered. In this particular sense, we're using Red Dirt Road. Make sure it's all rubbed in nice and tight. JB's, I can already tell. I can already smell it. It's making me hungry. That's Josh's stuff. It's really good. Rub it on in. Thoroughly rub down your meat. Okay, so I'm going to call that thoroughly rubbed. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Give you guys a chance to check that out. Okay. So now we add the root beer into the RockCrock Dutch oven, and then add the ribs. So our root beer today is going to be 6 ounces of root beer. So for me, got me an IBC root beer. It's a 12 ouncer, so roughly half. Okay, so we're going to be filling the RockCrock. I'm bringing it over here. Hopefully that's in frame. Yep. There we go. Little adjustment. So, according to the recipe, I'm going to add about half of this bottle of IBC into the RockCrock pan. That's about 6 ounces. That's half. I'm going to drink the rest of it. Tasty. All right, according to our directions, we're going to add the root beer and then add the ribs. Okay? In go the ribs. I'm going to place them down so that there's maximum exposure to the root beer, and then obviously you're going to have some left over that's not going to be touching the root beer directly. I guess we're going to have to, that'll have to be fine. All right. Cover and place in the RockCrock slow cooker stand. Cook on low for 6 to 8 hours, or on high for 4 hours. We're going to do it on high because it's a little bit in the afternoon today. During the last hour of cooking, add the barbecue sauce. So we'll do that. We're going to get our crock over there, and then we'll take a picture of that. All right. Here comes our prepared stuff. We're going to place it in. We're going to grab the top, put it on, and set these bad boys on high for 4 hours. So I'm going to start a timer for 4 hours. We'll check back on this and see where this rabbit hole leads us. Okay, we're about an hour and a half into the cook on high in our Pampered Chef crockpot. Let's take a look at the meat. Oh yeah, that's going to be just fine. Okay, so we're coming up on an hour out of our ribs being done. Now the recipe calls for, see if you can see this. During the last hour of cooking, add the barbecue sauce. And our barbecue sauce is 1.5 cups of barbecue sauce. Today we're going to be using a standard Sweet Baby Ray's. Okay, so we're gonna uncover, let you take a look at what's in there, in here. Delicious looking, fantastic. I don't know what could be added to that to make it any better looking, but we're gonna. So here goes. Pretty much try to get a even cover in there. Take a look at what's going on. We'll scoop it out of our Pampered Chef measuring cup. And then I'm going to use 2 wooden spoons to agitate, get it all mixed in there so that all the ribs can have a chance of being in the glorious barbecue sauce. You can already tell that they're going to fall off the bone, because just from feeling them with the wooden spoons. I guess one of the things that you probably should look out for is sloshing when you've got this much liquid in a crock. You don't want to slosh it like I did. But I'm a Marine, I can handle it. So be careful on that. It's hot, and we'll put it on, and we'll wait another hour for our ribs to be done. Okay, we're coming up on 4 hours. Let's switch this bad boy to warm. On the RockCrock, this is one of the things that comes with it, is a book of recipes, and you can also get some more online, apparently, according to Angela. So, who had to depart because her daughter has the flu, so it looks like it's just us today. We'll keep these ribs on warm for her, but for us who've been tagging along on the process, we want to see how the RockCrock cooked our ribs over a 4 hour instead of the 8 hours. So we went on high, we did the things that we needed to. In the last hour, we added the barbecue sauce, and I am going to be wearing gloves today because number one, I don't want to get burnt. Number two, I want to eat these later, or some of you might have to eat them later, so I just like to wear gloves to handle the food and take it out so that we're all good together. So here's that. This is what it looks like in the boil, or in the pot, in the RockCrock. At 4 hours, these are what the ribs look like. Get a bird's eye of it. As you can see, a lot of it is falling off the rib. Delicious. So I'm going to pick probably this little slice here. Pull it over. And then I got my little disposable plate here so they don't really worry about getting messy. So let's check some of the consistency. I'm going to just pull it apart real quick, and as you can see, the bone just comes right off. These bones are just falling off, and the other side, it's very hot, so you have to, please excuse me. The meat is just falling apart, delicious. I haven't tasted it. Wait till a piece is cool enough. blow on it a little. Oh my God. It is fantastic, delicious. It's flavorful. It's delicious. I'll probably eat this whole thing. I've been ordered to save the rest for Angela when she gets home. But the sauce, if you are having other stuff with it, the sauce in here is pretty, it's just fantastic. It's a combination of the juices that have come out of the actual ribs themselves, as well as the barbecue sauce. It's a delicious mixture. The ribs are just incredibly tasty in here, and I highly recommend it. So this is my little journey. I've never done anything really on my own, so this is what I did in the Pampered Chef RockCrock. Took me 4 hours because I didn't have 8, so I wanted to speed it up, and the outcome was still fantastic, delicious. We won't be doing the quick cooker because of the fact that my daughter is she just tested positive for the flu, so we got that. But for now, this will just be the RockCrock ribs in 4 hours. Fantastic. Thanks for tagging along, and I'll see you again in another video.